AdWords campaigns are not set and forget. This is what I would expect to happen in an AdWords campaign that's set up properly and then managed. We've got a graph with money, I think you can probably see that, money going up that axis, time going up along that axis, time. What I would expect is when you first start using AdWords for this to happen, use a different colour, you'd have a spend, and it would be quite a big spend at the top here, and over time that spend would go down as the campaign is tamed, as I call it. It's like a beast, you've got to tame these things. It starts off being really, really hungry for your money, and then as you tame it, you get better return on investment. Now here's what happens. Right at the very beginning, here, there is a period of time where you're actually paying for research. You're not really getting valuable clicks. You see that? No, just about. You're getting research. So up here, this is in a negative ROI position. You're getting lots of valuable information from Google about who's searching for what online and how your keywords can be extended and refined. And it's a time, unfortunately, that a lot of people give up. They just think, it's not working for me, so I'm going to chicken out. I'm going to stop spending money on AdWords. But if you're brave enough and if you actively manage your campaign, what will happen over time is your spend will start to come down, and over at this end, I don't know, this is probably 3 months, 6 months even, you'll start to get better return on investment because these clicks here will be converting for you. I'm going to talk about conversion very quickly in a moment. So you start off with a big spend, and fortune really does favour the brave. I think of it this way, that going hard with a large budget, much larger than you will be prepared to spend or comfortable to spend on an ongoing basis. And think of Google as doing a market research function for you for actually much less than it would cost to engage a market research company. In the olden days, and I'm from the olden days, remember, you would have to engage a market research company who would probably charge you, pick a number, 20 grand. It would certainly be around that figure, maybe even a bit more, to do a market research exercise to find out what your target audience were looking for, and then would present you with a report which is the results of their finding. The problem with that market research is it may or may not be correct because it's research, it's not empirical, it's not tested in the real market. What Google can do for you with its AdWords features is show you exactly what people are searching for, not what someone thinks they're searching for, but exactly what they're searching for, which you can then use that information to tame the campaign using something called campaign or AdWords or ad groups rather negatives, so that over time your spend comes down, and these clicks here are very valuable to you. So you're in positive ROI here. I say most people either don't do any of this taming or this campaign management and spend loads of money on market research. Oh, they'll get a few clicks in there, of course, but think that AdWords is very expensive and either continue to waste money on AdWords or more often than not just pull out and decide not to do it anymore. So the first big mistake is not recognising the standard curve of a well-managed campaign and chickening out too early before they get in return on investment. So that's number one. Number two is they don't split test their adverts. Ever so easy in Google AdWords to set up two variants of your ad. And you should be doing that. You should set up two variants of your ad for every ad group that you set up, at least two, and then have Google rotate them manually so that they're equally rotated. 50% of the time you want this one to show, 50% of the time you want that one to show. Now Google's got all sorts of auto optimization features built into AdWords. Over time it's got more and more sophisticated. And you know why? Because if you auto optimize, you're going to auto optimize the profits that Google gets. It's not about your return on investment, it's about their return on investment. So take manual control and actively manage the campaign. Split test. Have that one show 50% of the time, have that one show 50% of the time, and then check back in a month, and then always play beat the best one. So if this one is getting better conversions, let's say that one's converting at, 30%, that one's converting at 15%, bin that one and try and come up with another variant that beats the 30%, and then when you do, bin the 30% one and try and beat the new one. Maybe the new one's converting at 45%. So over time, you get better conversions. But here's the thing, you need to measure those conversions. So number 2 is not split testing. Number 3, believe it or not, is not even checking what your conversions are. What are you running this campaign for? If it's getting people to opt into your free report or download a voucher or whatever else you're doing, you have to put the code on the thank you page or on the page after the action that you're trying to track has worked. Otherwise, how do you know what the conversions are? You really have to do this. And I've seen so many people spending lots of money doing all this testing and then actually forgetting to work out what's the conversion. The click-through rate, CTR in an AdWords campaign, is how many people click on the advert. That doesn't matter. It's easy to get those of traffic and clicks. You just keep putting loads and loads of money in. But what you're interested in is the keywords that actually convert. And you can only get to that if you do the proper conversion tracking. So number 3 is either not checking conversions or not even implementing the code to track the conversions. I know that wasn't very well structured, but if you do those 3 things, believe me, AdWords works. I use a lot of AdWords. I forget the numbers exactly, but certainly we do £1 million worth of a year off of the back of sales which come in off of AdWords, and we spend nowhere near £1 million on AdWords every year. We get a very positive ROI. But we do go through this curve. We have gone through this curve. Beginning of the year, in January and February, I burnt approximately 35,000 quid on AdWords for a new setup on one of my new campaigns at this phase. And I was getting clicks. This is a very competitive market space. I was paying probably 12 to 15 pounds, not pence, pounds per click. Now, going through that process means that now I pay between £5 and £6 a click. So by investing that 35 grand up front, our click cost has come down to less than half. And of course, going forward, I'm hoping that I can get that down even further. So maybe we're down to £3 a click. And I'll spend £3 a click all day to acquire a new customer that's going to be worth a lot of money to me over the long term. Hope that was helpful and hope you could see it.